Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the dark side of the dinosaur world, the stuff that makes Jurassic Park look like a kid's playground. A couple of years ago, paleontologists uncovered something that still gives me chills. A T-Rex skull covered in bite marks from another T-Rex, not after it died, while it was alive. And this wasn't a one-off freak accident. These apex predators were out here living like absolute savages, face-biting, cannibalism, pack ambushes gone wrong, and herbivores that turned defense into deadly offense. If you think dinosaurs were just big lizards roaming around, buckle up. We're about to meet the psychos of prehistory. Let's start with the king himself, Tyrannosaurus rex. Everyone knows the name, but most people have no clue how brutal these things really were. Take the famous specimen called Stan. When scientists examined his skull, they found deep puncture wounds on the back of the head, perfectly spaced for T-Rex teeth. These weren't superficial scratches. They went straight into the bone. And here's the messed up part. The bone had healed around them. That means Stan got his face absolutely wrecked by another T-Rex, survived the attack, and kept on living with those scars for years. Imagine walking around with a constant reminder that one of your own kind tried to turn your head into a chew toy. But Stan isn't unique. When researchers looked across hundreds of T-Rex skulls, they found bite marks on over half of the adult specimens, mostly around the face, snout, and eyes. Healed wounds. This wasn't random hunting. This was ritualized. Violence probably how they settled. Dominance, territory, or mating rights. These weren't gentle nips. T-Rex had a bite force strong enough to crush bone like it was cardboard. One wrong move, and you're losing chunks of your face. And yes, it gets darker. There are T-Rex bones with clear feeding marks from other T-Rex's striations, from serrated teeth pulling meat off, even on toe bones after the big pieces were gone. Your favorite movie star was a cannibal when times got tough. Now, if T-Rex face biting sounds bad, let's talk about the undisputed champion of confirmed dinosaur cannibalism, Majungasaurus from prehistoric Madagascar. This abelosaurid theropod holds a special record. Scientists found its bones with bite marks that, under the microscope, matched its own unique tooth spacing and serrations perfectly. No other predator in that ecosystem fit. And it wasn't just one case. Multiple specimens showed the same thing. Madagascar was an isolated island with harsh, dry conditions. Food was scarce, so these guys turned on each other. Researchers proved it wasn't just scavenging dead bodies. The evidence points to active predation or heavy opportunistic feeding on their own kind. Starvation turns even apex predators into something truly nightmarish. Speaking of desperate times, check out the Mygetmore Quarry in Colorado. Paleontologists dug up over 2,000 bones from the Jurassic, many with bite marks. A huge chunk came from other dinosaurs, including Allosaurus, gnawing on Allosaurus. During droughts, when water dried up and prey died off, these big carnivores didn't get picky. They went after anything that stopped moving, including relatives. Bite marks on lomet areas like toes and spines. That's scavenging desperation at its finest. Allosaurus wasn't just a hunter. It was an opportunistic nightmare when resources ran low. Then there's Daspletosaurus, a tyrannosaurid cousin of T-Rex. One specimen tells the saddest, most brutal story in the fossil record. Its skull is covered in healed puncture wounds and gouges from other Daspletosaur's multiple fights. It somehow survived. But after it finally died, another one came along and treated the carcass like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Different bite marks, post-mortem feeding traces, even thorough stripping of both ends of bones. This dinosaur got bullied its whole life by its own species, and then became dinner. Face-biting scars on most tyrannosaur fossils suggest this brutal social dynamic was the norm. Fight your whole life, and when you lose, your friends eat you. Pack hunting takes the terror to another level. In Argentina, paleontologists found a bone bed with at least 7 Maposaurus adults, teens, juveniles, dying together. These bus-sized carnivores were likely working as a team to take down Argentinosaurus, a sauropod the size of a dozen elephants. A single Maposaurus versus that giant. Suicide. But a coordinated gang surrounding it, slashing legs and necks. Game over. They probably died in the chaos, maybe trampled or stuck in mud while feeding. These weren't lone wolves. They were organized killing machines that needed teamwork to survive. Water predators were arguably worse. Spinosaurus, that sail-backed giant, wasn't just a fish-eater. Fossils show a pterosaur neck bone with a Spinosaurus tooth embedded deep in it, meaning this 15-meter ambush monster exploded out of the river and crunched a flying reptile hard enough to lose a tooth. Bite marks on land dinosaur bones near water edges prove it grabbed anything that got too close. Imagine a crocodile 3 times longer, lurking like a log, then launching a surprise attack. No warning, just jaws and claws dragging you under. Terrifying. Even the smart raptors had their disasters. In Utah, a massive sandstone block holds at least 6 Utahraptor skeletons, big as polar bears, with 9-inch claws mixed with their stuck prey. One raptor jumps into quicksand, like mud, for an easy meal, gets trapped. Then the whole family follows one by one like absolute idiots until everyone's sinking. Some were stepping on each other, trying to escape. Pack hunters defeated by basic mud physics. Embarrassing way to go out. Deinonychus, the real-life inspiration for movie raptors, left multiple sites with their bones around Tyrannosaurus carcasses. These smaller raptors teamed up, or at least showed up en masse, to take down something much larger. It might not have been perfect coordination, more like a chaotic frenzy, where they fought each other over scraps, too. Sickle claws weren't just for prey. They kept rivals away from the good meat. The most iconic fight fossil, the fighting dinosaurs from Mongolia, a velociraptor and protoceratops, locked in mortal combat. The raptor's claw is buried in the herbivore's throat, but the protoceratops has the raptor's arm clamped in its beak, fracturing the bone. They died mid-battle when sand buried them. Neither backed down. Pure prehistoric rage, preserved for 75 million years. Now, let's flip to the herbivores that gave as good as they got. Triceratops wasn't some peaceful grazer. T-Rex bones show holes matching those 3-foot horns. And there's a Triceratops brow horn with a healed T-Rex bite. These things charged like living battering rams. Duels between males. Defense that turned offensive apex predators thought twice. Stegosaurus. Those tail spikes thagomizers were lethal weapons. An Allosaurus tail vertebra has a perfect puncture hole, matching a Stegosaurus spike with some healing, meaning it survived a brutal stab. Other Allosaurus died from hip wounds. About 10% of Stegosaurus spikes show impact damage and healing. These weren't passive displays. They were actively stabbing predators, sometimes with precision. Ankylosaurus took it further. Their tail clubs could shatter T-Rex legs like a bone-wrecking ball. Evidence of club damage on their own kind suggests mating fights involved smashing each other's armored sides. One specimen, Zool, has healed injuries from another Ankylosaur's club. Walking tanks that settled arguments with sledgehammer tails. And then there's Pachycephalosaurus, the dome-headed psychos. A shocking percentage of their thick skulls show healed injuries, pits, and infections from headbutting contests. Some started young. They rammed heads hard enough to cause brain trauma and lasting damage, turning social hierarchy into an extreme sport of concussions. The dome absorbed massive impacts, but losers often suffered slow, infected deaths, giving each other traumatic brain injuries for millions of years. That's next-level commitment to violence. From face-biting tyrants to head-dramming herbivores, the Mesozoic was a brutal place where aggression ruled. It makes you appreciate modern life a bit more, right? What do you think? Was there a dinosaur I missed that deserves the psycho label? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe for more wild prehistoric deep dives, and check out the video popping up on screen next. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.